Yes.
Yes, I can. All right, the hour of 6:30 having arrived, I'll call to order the regular Plan Commission meeting for City of Columbus for February 9, 2023. Kyle, will you take the roll, or Brandon?
Hajewski,
Here.
Monday,
Present.
Motif,
Present.
Myers, Albright,
Present.
Traxler, and Thylin are excused.
All right, we have a quorum. Item 3, notice of open meeting. This meeting was appropriately noticed and posted in accordance with state law. Item 4, approve the agenda. We've got the agenda in front of you. Please review. I'll entertain a motion to approve or amend.
Motif will make a motion to approve the agenda.
Albright will second it.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, this is tonight's working agenda. Item 5, approved minutes from January meeting. Those are also in your packet. Please take a moment to review, and I'll entertain a motion to approve or amend.
I'd make a motion to approve the minutes. This is Hajewski.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor of approval signify by aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Minutes are approved. Item 6, citizen comments. Nobody's here in the audience. Scott's on Zoom, but I presume he's there for the agenda item. Did you guys receive any comments to read into the record?
No.
Okay. All right, item 7, any unfinished business that anyone knows of or wants to bring forth tonight? Nope. All right, moving on to item 8, new business. 8A, review and make recommendation to council regarding the request of the waiver of the requirements of section 78-15 of the City Code of Ordinances requiring the filing of a site plan. We'll take that up separately from the certified survey map issue. I guess staff report discusses this. The waiver for a site plan was requested because there's no construction activity or any other development activity occurring on these two lots. So no site plan is really necessary, is what it says in the staff report. Staff recommends approval of that waiver. And we're dealing with the other waiver in the next item, right? Okay, thanks. Any questions about that, members? Questions, comments, or discussion about waiving the certified survey map requirement, or, I'm sorry, the site plan requirement? All right, hearing no discussion, I'll entertain a motion to recommend to council.
I'll make a motion to recommend to council the request of waiver for the site plan.
Hajewski, I would second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All right, all those in favor of recommending approval to council for the waiver of the site plan signify by aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, recommend to council for that waiver. All right, 8B, review and make recommendation to council regarding the request of the property owners for the proposed certified survey maps for parcels 724.2, 724.3, and 718.02 with a waiver of the requirements of section 90-9 parentheses 39 of the City Code of Ordinances requiring street frontage for all residential lots. Okay, so we, really, there's two items built into there, right? There's the land division itself, and then the fact that neither one of these lots has frontage on a public street. Brandon, you want to walk us through the staff report on that one?
Yeah, so the applicants, Edwin Parpart and Mark Keister, there are currently 3 lots there now. The CSM that you see is what it will look like when they're combined into the 2. They are not looking to build or develop anything. They're kind of just under the understanding that Mr. Parpart wants some additional land behind his property, and Mr. Keiser, who owns that as well as a parcel across Birdsey Street, is willing to sell that to him, just create those lots there, make it less likely that somebody else will come in and try to buy it and build a property back there. The issue with the frontage was kind of a back and forth between staff. Some feel that it's not really creating new lots technically, it's just kind of reconfiguring the existing lots. But ultimately, we were not able to determine when the street was vacated, but it has been vacated for quite some time, and there is a dedicated easement that we can tell. So ultimately, Attorney Johnson and the attorney for the applicants came to the understanding that because of that easement, they were both fine with it not having frontage to conform with technically the subdivision ordinance that would require all lots have frontage on public streets.
Okay. Scott, do you have anything to add or want to comment on anything? Or are you just here to be present?
Yeah, I'm just here for questions, but yeah, this is really, it's a simple lot line adjustment. And we understand that, these parcels were created, prior to today's code. So we have existing parcels that were allowed to have indirect access to a public street by an easement. I understand that we can't do that anymore, but this is a hardship at this point because we're stuck with what we have. And again, not creating any new lots per se, additional lots, I should say. Just downsizing from 3 parcels to 2.
Okay. Commissioners, any questions, any discussion here?
Well, I would assume that since staff reviewed it, any concerns about the condition of the street or public safety or anything else are already reviewed and correct? Yeah.
Yeah, and the driveway that comes into these properties is privately owned, so that condition is the responsibility of those users specifically. There was mention of a utility easement issue, if you wouldn't mind explaining that too, Brandon?
Yeah, so with the CSM itself, nothing with the waiver of the frontage. The initial CSM we received had nothing for utility markings or easements or anything. We asked Scott to locate those. So he was out there with Water and Light and the DPW crew. They were able, I believe they were able to find the water lines, but they were not able to find the manhole. So after discussing it with staff, we would recommend approving the CSM with the conditions that the easement be drawn up, and the attorney for the clients has already agreed to draw those up. So.
Okay, yeah, I see the water line on the map, and then when you said the manhole, you meant the sewer manhole. I can't find the sewer manhole, or so that condition would allow staff to kind of hold this until that was found. And does the access easement specify that it could be used for utilities also?
I'm not sure. I would have to check with the engineer on that.
All right, so that that sounds like maybe some language might have to be adjusted, and if that sewer line isn't within that easement, some easement would have to be written. So there's a little bit of cleanup there, but again, no utility construction, just recording where those utilities are and ensuring that they're covered by an appropriate easement for any kind of future maintenance or replacement, et cetera. So, okay. Any other questions or discussion?
I have a question.
Yeah, Sarah.
The driveway access easement that is shared between the properties, has that been legally documented so that if any owner chooses to sell at any point, that is not gonna be an issue?
It's marked on the map and it cites a volume and page number for that access easement. Scott, can you speak to that? Does that run with those parcels?
Yeah, so just to kind of clarify, we did find a document where this, this section of Birdsey Street was formerly vacated by the city, way back in 1865. So it went into private ownership. And typically what happens when a vacation occurs is that the adjoining landowners would own up to the center line of that vacated street. It's kind of equitable. So we have, an asphalt drive that's being used by multiple people. And I found that in their deeds, they reference, having the right to cross over the northern side of this vacated Birdsey Street right-of-way, which is like 30 feet wide. So in the Keister's deed, it calls out that they have the right, for the easement, and same thing with Park. As far as a separate recordable instrument, that gives specifics to, specifically who gets to use it or maintenance issues, snow plowing, that type of thing. We did not find anything like that. But, pretty typical to that time period when, you would just talk about access. And when Jason, Letha had reviewed this, it was his recommendation that we take a look at the utilities, because their city mapping shows that there's water and sewer there. So, yeah, we did go out and locate what was obvious or what could be located by city staff. And, and the talk is, that there's going to be, an easement created for utility purposes for the city to kind of protect what they have out there as far as their underground water and sewer.
Sarah, does that answer your question?
I think so, thank you.
Sure. Any other?
Where is the shared driveway?
It's the shared driveway is the asphalt, the darker gray.
It's not landlocked because of that.
It's not landlocked. Like the staff report says, it's not ideal and it's not something we would map out now for new lots, but this maintains the status quo, I think, is what your statement said in the report.
So we're looking for approval of a CSM with the condition of addressing the easement concerns by the city?
By the staff, and waiving the requirement for frontage on a public street. So we're basically accepting this driveway easement in lieu of having a public street dedicated.
So is the public street still the city's property, or are you actually granting them?
So Wisconsin Street is a public street. Then you see this vacated Birdsey Street.
I understand.
So that's,
The
yeah,
street is still there, right?
Yes.
yeah.
When they bought the house or bought the lots, that wasn't considered a street, not necessarily a driveway.
In 1865, Birdsey Street was there and vacated.
Was it ever put into those lots? Or is that just public land that goes down there? Just because
It's
it's,
owned by the property owners.
okay, so their lot line actually goes into that street
Right.
or past that street?
Half
Okay.
this side, half this side.
All right.
Any other questions? All right, if not, I will entertain a motion.
To me, the CSM is still showing the lot line, not including that property. I would assume those are the pipes, the
Well,
survey lot markers?
well, this is the original this is the one in the middle here that's being split. So
Okay.
there was this lot before, and there was this lot, and this lot, which is vacant. I think this one is vacant too, if I recall. I drove down there and looked at it, and their property owners just splitting this vacant lot to go half that way, half that way.
Yeah, I'm talking about this lot line.
Uh-huh,
It does not look like it includes the driveway.
yeah.
Am I missing something?
These lots do not include the driveway.
They
They
do
just have
not.
Access.
They don't include the driveway. The easement is on an adjacent property. So the owners of these two lots that are being formed have an easement from these other owners across from there so that that driveway can be
Okay, so it's the
maintained.
property
and-
owner on the other
Yes.
side.
Yep,
Got it.
yep.
All right, thank you.
I would make a motion to approve the CSM pending addressing the staff easement request, and also approving creating the new, or approving the CSM without the direct street access. That's a mouthful.
I will second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor of recommending approval to council signify by aye. Aye.
Aye.
I
Opposed? None. Approved to council with the requested condition. All right, we've made it to the end of our agenda. I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Motive will second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.